it was somewhat ridiculous to suggest Lucy Colony, one tweet deleted in 4 hours, is the same as this chap who calls for the murder of Jews and white people and hates this country and so on and so forth.
Imagine you're white and or Jewish in this country. You're terrified, and let's welcome some anti-white Egyptian activist who wishes to see the death of Zionists. The establishment media is falling over itself to defend a controversial figure who Starmer has welcomed back to Britain with open arms. But in this video, a Reform UK spokesman is tearing their narrative apart. He exposes the double standards, the dangerous priorities, and the sheer absurdity of how our government is bending over backwards for those who hate Britain. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now let's watch this together, and then I'll share my thoughts at the end.
We are talking about the case of Alla Abd El-Fattah, the British-Egyptian national who returned to the UK on Boxing Day after spending a decade in Egyptian jails. Successive British governments battled to get him out of prison. The Prime Minister said he was delighted to welcome Mr. El-Fattah back to the UK. And then, of course, there were the revelations of his historic racist tweets for which he has now apologised. Joining me to discuss this case further is Gawain, member of Reform UK's decision-making board, who has been an advisor to Nigel Farage for more than 20 years. Mr. Towler, thank you very much indeed for being on the programme this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know you are deeply critical of the way in which not just the government, but previous governments have handled Mr. El-Fattah's situation, but it is complicated by the fact that he is a dual national, isn't it?
Well, this is an interesting one. And one of the things that I take issue with is, and you've repeated it yourself, is return to Britain. You can only return to a place you've been to before. So he's not returning, he's coming to Britain. That's point one. Point two, he only received British nationality 3-4 years ago. So he's in his 40s, he's just got it, whilst he applied, his family applied for him while he was in prison. Now, his mother's, you talk about his birthright. Yes, his mother has a birthright of being a British citizen because she was born here. Now, the question is, and Emily Thornberry's quote when you were talking to her earlier, or the LBC was talking to her earlier, she wasn't sure as whether this was discretionary or by right. And so I think that's one of the questions that has to be asked and has to be got to the bottom of. Secondly, even if he was granted this right of citizenship, and remember, it is only joint citizenship, it's not single nationality. And yes, as Joshua Rosenberg pointed out, just burning your ID card doesn't stop you being a citizen. I could cut up my passport tomorrow; it doesn't stop me being a British citizen. So that's silly. But the point is, there's a whole series of questions. There was no due diligence done. There are question marks as to whether the fact ECHR cases have meant that due diligence couldn't be done. There's a whole series of questions go on this, and I thought it was somewhat ridiculous to suggest Lucy Colony, one tweet deleted in 4 hours, is the same as this chap who calls for the murder of Jews and white people and hates this country and so on and so forth. He has apologised. I recognise that. However, I don't think Lucy Colony's apology mattered one little hoot. And you can't take a citizenship off her because she's not a foreign national. But you can under the 1981 Act if someone is determined not to be. The point about Shamar Begum was that she did have somewhere else to go.
Well, but she didn't, because then they said they wouldn't take her in. So she did. It was speculative that she might have.
Well, in which case it's speculative that this chap should have the right to, because he only got it through one parent. So I'm sorry.
I don't understand why that only getting it through one parent matters. I have two sons. My wife is American.
Hold on.
They both have dual nationality. They get it through one parent. That's the rule.
Yet you say that the Bangladeshis didn't want her. Yep.
Yes.
Both her parents were Bangladeshi nationals. So you're talking, it's not the same.
Well, let's talk about another.
Lucy Colony is a British citizen with no allegiance or family links to abroad. So it's just fatuous to make the same claim. It's just silly.
Well, let's ask about another dual national, or a pair of dual nationals, the Tate brothers. These are people, Andrew Tate has...
I noticed that nobody's campaigning for them to be brought back to this country, are they?
But would you campaign for them to be
I haven't, I wouldn't,
denaturalised?
no.
But why not? I mean, given they've talked
frankly,
about bringing the Nazi salute back. Andrew Tate has called Hamas masculine resistance.
Hold on. I've said no. And the reason no is because they're not conducive to good running of this country.
But you're saying no to what? You're saying they should have their nationality revoked?
I'm saying I'm not going to be campaigning for them to be brought back to this country. Absolutely not.
And so what is your view on
what
Mr. El-Fattah? You want Mr. El-Fattah to have his passport removed, or are you...
I think it's extremely questionable why he got it in the first place. I think there are a whole series of procedural questions about that. Yes, I think that he is not conducive. Imagine you're Jewish in this country. You're terrified. You're worried because of the hate marches, because of the murders in Manchester, because of the general attitude. And let's welcome some fellow who wishes to see the death of Zionists, and let's have more killed, please. This is extremely concerning. And I'm more worried about those people who are under threat constantly than this one man. Now, he has been released from prison in Egypt, correct? Yes. So the threat to him in that sense is not as great as it was. The President Sisi kept on saying he's an Egyptian citizen. What are you worried about? And it is interesting. I know he is extremely well connected. His mother is a professor of mathematics. His father was a communist activist and also an academic. His aunt is a novelist. His sister is also an activist. They are very well connected. So therefore, there was this I will accept that, an extremely effective campaign that managed to convince people like Alicia Kearns, managed to convince people like James Cleverly and others to campaign on his behalf. But I think, to be fair, this whole fuss would almost have passed unnoticed if half the government hadn't trumpeted it as the first successful thing they've done since they got elected. And if they hadn't made that, if Number 10's press office hadn't gone, yes, priority, just because they've succeeded in something, I suspect you and I wouldn't be talking about this if the government hadn't made it their big deal for Christmas.
Do you think this case will still be in the headlines a week from now, or is this literally the big deal for everyone this Christmas, and in a week's time we will have forgotten all about him?
Honestly, that entirely depends on events, as we know. Who knows what next absolute foobar the government come up with between then and now. But right now, it does feel that it's unfinished business, yes, and I can see this rolling. And it's silly season. There's not that much news. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. So we might find ourselves talking about it again in a week.
All right. Gawain Towler, thanks very much indeed for being with us this afternoon. Mr. Towler is a member of Reform UK's decision-making board and an advisor to Nigel Farage for more than 20 years.
Gawain Towler absolutely decimated the presenter's weak arguments. He laid bare the hypocrisy of the political and media establishment, celebrating the return of a man with a deeply troubling past, while ignoring the genuine concerns of ordinary Britons, especially those targeted by hate. The fact that the government trumpeted this as a success while turning a blind eye to the rising anti-Semitism and national decline is a disgrace. Our leaders are prioritizing globalist virtue, signaling over the safety and common sense values of their own people. This isn't just about one man, it's about who our country values, and right now it feels like it's everyone but us. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Do you think the government's priorities are completely skewed? Let me know in the comments below.